ready to do a handover training on one of our Pure2o 600 litre Titan machines. This machine can be used both ways, either by purchasing pure water by using your own static system, or alternatively you are able to produce your own pure water via the filtration on board. We will show both ways to use this system from this side of things. So we'll show you initially, if you follow me round, you will notice opening the side loading door on the van. On the top of the tank is a filler cap. This filler cap is easily unscrewed. Once obviously we fill this tank fully with either purchased pure water or from a static system you may have already, the tank will then be filled. You will notice on the side of the tank will show us the level of water. Currently a third of the tank with the orange ball. As it fills, this will lift to fill fully. I will close the door here. We will then show you how to operate the machine by using the pumps on board to utilise the equipment for window cleaning, obviously only. So you will notice with either the hose reel supplied with the van, or if you have your hose reels already supplied, you will connect in on the side of the vehicle. You have your pure water outlets on the side here. We simply connect like so into our hose reels, like so. We can then get ready to connect up close to our pole, ready for using the equipment for window cleaning. When we go inside the vehicle, to allow the water to enter out, we would simply open our taps like so for whichever outlet we're using. If we're using a single outlet, which I'm currently using the bottom outlet, I will open the bottom tap. If we're using both outlets, we can open both, but only really required depending on how many hose reels you're running. Once we have our tap opened, we will follow back to the machine. We will use the bottom controller, runs obviously of course the bottom outlet, and the top controller runs to the top outlet. As we're using the bottom controller, we're connected up, we can then turn the controller on. It shows FLO, and you will notice on here we can vary our flow. Our flow is varied dependent on what flow rate you require. We generally find, roughly around a 30 average, but you may increase, may decrease from that point of view. If you want to turn the controller off, it's a case of holding down the enter button here to switch the controller off. So again, just to cover, up button to flow to turn the controller on. We can increase and decrease our flow. To turn the controller off, we hold the enter button down. Once the pump is on and pumping water, you will notice the pure water will exit the vehicle. This will run into your hose reel. Obviously hose reel out, we then can connect obviously of course our hose to our water fed pole to start cleaning like so. We will run through how to use the filtration on board on the system, so we're able to produce our own deionized water ready for the following day to be used. So the first thing we will take is our water supply hose. We will then connect that up to the side of the vehicle like so. We will then also need to grab a waste hose. A waste hose is just a short length of hose. We can have that connected to the reject hose on the side of the vehicle, like so. We can take this hose away just to an outside drain for the wastewater to soak away. So we'll just put that down here as your wastewater from that point of view, and our wastewater will go away. So what we recommend to do is then, to get it on fill, we will turn our water supply on, which I'm going to do here, which is on now. Before we hit the fill switch to get it filling, we always make sure on the side of the machine, you will notice there's a blue tap. We must always make sure that tap is in line. So I'm now going to open that up. And now I'm ready then to hit the fill to allow it to start filling. So what you will notice, use the top pump controller, the up and the down, I hold together. You will notice it will say FIL initially, it will then say FLU. So currently what's happening, the machine is flushing the RO, and that will do that for 2 minutes automatically on the machine. So as you see FLU, it will stay illuminated like that for up to 2 minutes for the RO to be flushed. You will notice the system will start to produce wastewater. So you will see here, the wastewater is here. This is the wastewater the RO is producing. You will notice the volume of wastewater is very high for the first 2 minutes as it's flushing, but you will notice that will drop down to a slower trickle whilst it's filling. This particular machine does have a built-in booster pump on board, which you will see here. This booster pump will help on the filling cycle to allow the system to quick fill. You will notice on the system has a lower pressure gauge showing us mains pressure, which is around about 25 psi where we're filling. You will notice when I run the booster pump will have its own pressure gauge, and that will increase higher when I run the booster pump. One important factor we always recommend when using the booster pump, you have water flowing down the drain. So we see wastewater going down now, we see water going through the circuit. We can then think about connecting the electric up to run the booster pump. The benefit of the booster, you will notice the tank will fill faster. So it'll hopefully fill within that 2 and 3 hour period once we have the booster pump running. Very simple. If you follow me around, we have our electric supply coming from our main supply, just running on an extension lead. There is a lead supplied with the equipment. We can open our side electric port on the side of the vehicle. We can connect in like so, and then what we will notice once we connect in our mains electric, it is now running the booster pump on board on the system. You will notice now we're running at much higher pressure than mains pressure, so we're running up to around about 75 psi on filling. And you will notice the tank will fill obviously at a very, very, very good rate. The tank will fill up. Once the tank is filled up, it will hit the float switch in the tank. This will allow the machine to shut down, ready for the following day for usage of the machine. One important thing when using the filtration on board on this machine, we will always recommend to ensure that the valve on the side of the system, so when we are using the pumps, the valve on the side here, we turn this 90 degrees towards me. That obviously allows the ROM cycle to be used at the end of the fill cycle, but also stops water trickling out the wastewater whilst obviously the pumps are being operated as well. So we must turn that 90 degrees once we are finished filling the system.